Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something truly rewarding, growing your very own watermelons right in your backyard. Imagine slicing into a juicy, sweet watermelon that you grew yourself. It's an incredible feeling, and I'm going to walk you through every single step to make it happen. From picking the perfect variety to knowing the exact moment to harvest, this is your ultimate guide to watermelon success. So grab your gardening gloves and let's get ready to grow the taste of summer. First things first, let's talk about choosing your champion. The world of watermelons is huge. You've got classics like Sugar Baby, which are small, round, and perfect if you're short on space or even want to try container gardening. Then there's the iconic Crimson Sweet, that big striped beauty you probably picture when you think of a picnic. For those who want to go big, Charleston Gray produces massive oblong melons. The key is to pick a variety that suits your climate and the length of your growing season. Check the seed packet for the days to maturity. If you have a shorter summer, look for varieties that ripen faster. Don't be afraid to try something new, like a yellow-fleshed variety. Now, for those of us with shorter growing seasons, getting a head start is crucial. This is where starting seeds indoors comes in. About 2 to 4 weeks before your last expected frost date, you can plant your watermelon seeds inside. I highly recommend using biodegradable pots like peat pots or cow pots. Why? Because watermelons have sensitive root systems and absolutely hate being disturbed. With these pots, you can plant the entire thing directly into the ground when the time comes, which drastically reduces transplant shock and helps your seedlings take off without a hitch. Just fill them with a good quality seed starting mix. Plant 1 or 2 seeds per pot about an inch deep. Keep them moist and in a sunny, warm spot. It's like giving your future melons a cozy little nursery before they face the great outdoors. All right, let's get our hands dirty and prepare the perfect home for our watermelons. These plants are sun worshippers and heat lovers, and their soil preferences reflect that. They thrive in sandy loam soil that drains well. If you have heavy clay soil, you'll definitely want to amend it. The ideal soil pH is somewhere between 6.0 and 6.8, which is slightly acidic. A simple soil test kit can tell you where you stand. The secret ingredient for amazing watermelons is rich organic matter. Before planting, work a generous amount of compost or well-rotted manure into your soil. This not only feeds your plants, but also improves soil structure. I also love to create small hills or mounds of soil, about a foot high and a couple of feet wide. Planting on these watermelon hills helps the soil warm up faster in the spring and ensures excellent drainage, keeping the roots happy and preventing rot. The moment we've been waiting for, planting day. Timing is everything. Watermelons are not fans of the cold, so you must wait until all danger of frost has passed and your soil temperature is consistently above 70 degrees Fahrenheit or 21 Celsius. A soil thermometer is a gardener's best friend here. If you started seeds indoors, make sure to harden them off for a week by gradually exposing them to outdoor conditions before planting. When you're ready, plant your seedlings or sow your seeds directly into the mounds you prepared. Plant seeds about an inch deep. Give them plenty of room to roam. Space your mounds about 3 to 4 feet apart, with at least 6 feet between rows. Those vines will spread out more than you think. If you planted multiple seeds per hill, wait until they have a few true leaves, then thin them out, leaving only the 1 or 2 strongest seedlings. It might feel tough, but it's essential for healthy, productive plants. Let's talk about watering, because this is where many new growers go wrong. You'd think a watermelon, being over 90% water, needs constant drenching, right? Not quite. They need deep, infrequent watering. Your goal is to provide about 1 to 2 inches of water per week, all in 1 or 2 good soaks. This encourages the roots to grow deep into the soil in search of moisture, which makes the plant more resilient to drought. The absolute key is to water the base of the plant and avoid getting the leaves wet. Wet foliage is an open invitation for fungal diseases like powdery mildew. A soaker hose or drip irrigation system snaked around your plants is the gold standard here. And I can't stress this enough, mulch, mulch, mulch. A thick layer of straw, Shredded leaves or wood chips around your plants will work wonders. It locks in soil moisture, keeps the soil temperature stable, and suppresses weeds that compete for nutrients. Plus, it gives the developing melons a clean surface to rest on. Now, for a little lesson in the birds and the bees, literally. Watermelon plants produce separate male and female flowers on the same vine. For a watermelon to form, pollen must be transferred from a male flower to a female flower, and our primary helpers for this job are bees. This is why it's so important to create a bee-friendly garden. Avoid using any broad-spectrum pesticides, especially during the morning when the flowers are open and the bees are most active. If you notice lots of flowers but no fruit forming, you might have a pollination problem. Don't worry, you can play matchmaker. Identify the female flowers. They have a tiny baby watermelon at their base. The male flowers just have a straight stem. Gently pick a male flower, peel back its petals to expose the pollen-dusted stamen, and lightly dab it onto the stigma inside the female flower. It's that simple, and it can be the difference between a failed crop and a bountiful harvest. As your vines start taking over the garden, it's time to think about feeding them. We need to fertilize strategically. In the early stages, when the plant is focused on growing lush vines and leaves, a balanced fertilizer like the 10th of October 10 works great. This provides equal parts nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium for overall growth. However, once you see the vines start to flower and baby fruits begin to form, you need to change your strategy. Switch to a fertilizer that is lower in nitrogen and higher in phosphorus and potassium. Too much nitrogen at this stage will give you a jungle of beautiful green leaves, but very few, if any, actual watermelons. The potassium, in particular, is vital for fruit development and sweetness. Follow the instructions on your fertilizer package, and remember that with fertilizer, less is often more. Over-fertilizing can do more harm than good. Every gardener has to play defense sometimes, so let's get prepared for common pests and diseases. Aphids and cucumber beetles are two of the most frequent uninvited guests on watermelon vines. Keep a close eye on the undersides of leaves for aphids. Cucumber beetles can damage flowers and spread disease. For most small infestations, a strong spray of water can knock them off, or you can use gentler options like insecticidal soap or neem oil. Powdery mildew is a fungal disease that looks like a white, powdery coating on the leaves. It thrives in humid conditions, which is another reason why watering at the base of the plant is so important. To prevent soil-borne diseases from building up, practice crop rotation. This simply means don't plant watermelons or their relatives like cucumbers and squash in the same spot year after year. Move them to a different part of your garden each season. This is the most exciting part, knowing when to harvest your prize. Picking a watermelon at its peak ripeness is an art, but there are 3 classic signs to look for. First, find the tendril, that little curly vine, closest to the stem of the watermelon. When that tendril turns brown and completely dries up, it is a very strong indicator that the melon has stopped receiving nutrients from the vine and is ripe. Second, roll the watermelon over gently and check its underside, the spot where it rests on the ground. This is called the field spot. On an unripe melon, it will be white or pale green. On a ripe melon, it will have turned to a rich, creamy yellow color. And third, the famous thump test. Give the watermelon a firm tap with your knuckles. A ripe melon will produce a deep, hollow sound, like thumping on a drum. An unripe melon will sound dull and high-pitched. It takes a little practice, but once you hear it, you'll know. Most varieties are ready 70 to 100 days after planting, so keep your calendar handy. Before we wrap up, I want to share a few bonus tips to take your watermelon game to the next level. If you're gardening in a small space, try growing smaller varieties vertically on a sturdy trellis. As the fruits develop, you will need to create little hammocks or slings for them, using old t-shirts or nylon stockings to support their weight. It looks amazing and saves a ton of ground space. Also, consider companion planting. Planting marigolds and nasturtiums nearby can help deter pests naturally. And for a bit of fun, especially if you have kids, get some non-toxic paint and give one of your developing watermelons a face. It can be your garden's little mascot, watching over the patch until it's ready to be harvested. And there you have it, your complete journey from a tiny seed to a giant, delicious watermelon. The satisfaction of growing your own food is just unbeatable. I hope this guide has inspired you and given you the confidence to give it a try. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next gardening adventure. Happy growing!